All right, on today's episode of Gringo Y Sazon, we are going to be making
Empanadas.
Empanadas, but not just any empanadas. We are making, drum roll please, my mother's famous empanada. So come on out, don't be afraid. My mother Patricia, who is well known for making all sorts of delicious dishes, but this is one of her more popular ones that we pair with chimichurri. Everybody always requests this at every single party or event that we go to. So today we are graced with her secret recipe that we will be sharing with you guys today. So let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we are starting with 5 cups, right, of flour. Is there anything else in this flour?
Le vamos a agregar mantequilla.
So you're going to add butter. So you're going to add half of this butter into this dry flour. And what you want is essentially for this consistency of this to be like crumbly. So that is what we're going to do.
Acuérdate que esto sirve también para pastelitos.
This also works for pastries as well. So you can use the same dough if you're doing like say turnovers or something like that. It's really delicious, very like, you can use it for many different things. So then you're going to keep mixing it until it's completely incorporated. When do we add the heavy whipping cream? So once this gets like all like crumbly, we will add the milk, which is heavy whipping cream. So we're going to add a cup of the heavy whipping cream at first to do that. So where did you learn how to cook?
Acuérdate que la cocina es a veces un arte, es una creación. Y yo aprendí nada más mirando, creando y muchas veces variando las recetas. Esta es una variación mía.
So essentially she says that this is an art. So she learned a lot from her mom. Her mom was the basic cooking. I think your dad was too, right? Her dad was a really good cook too. And a lot of her family members are good cooks in Costa Rica as well. So this is just her version of this, empanada recipe, even though you can find a lot of varieties everywhere else.
Ahora le vamos a agregar una taza.
So now we're going to do a cup. And we're going to do it all at once or just little by little?
Así.
Okay, like that? All of it?
Y vamos a ir incorporando todo.
You'll be incorporating all of it. As it's going, you kind of go by feel. And this is where sometimes us peasants can't figure certain things out because she just goes by feel. I can't do that, but she's going by feeling and making sure that this is. So now she's gonna add another cup of heavy whipping cream. Okay, so all of it.
Otra más.
So now we're gonna add another one. So again, she's just going off by feeling. So do you want it to be sticky or do you want it to be less sticky?
No puede quedar pegajosa.
So you want it to basically not stick too much. So now we're at 3.5 cups of heavy whipping cream up until now. So I'm gonna tell a funny story. When I was younger, I think I was like, 9 years old. One day my mom thought she had enough of me just standing around in the kitchen. So she told me to get in front of the stove and start cooking. I had no idea what I was doing. But one of the first dishes I made was arroz con pollo, which is chicken and rice. And she was right next to me like this, just telling me what to do. And that's how we figured out how to cook. So now you can see a little bit how it's getting denser. There's a slight stickiness, but not too much, right? We don't want it to be too sticky. She's gonna keep incorporating till everything is basically like one ball. You're gonna let this sit, right, for about 30 minutes once it's done. Do we let it sit in the fridge or do we let it sit outside? Outside. So basically you wanna try it out. And if you see like you can mold it like that, then you know it's ready to go. Again, probably wouldn't get this right the first time. Let's see.
Yeah, that's all.
So you don't have to work it too hard, but you basically want to make sure it's kind of glutinous and that it can hold its formation while you make the empanadas. So basically she's just working everything so that once it does sit, you're able to form it. She's rolling it up. So she said you can work it for like upwards of 10 minutes, but no longer than that.
I need to get some rubber feet for this.
This is why she has strong arms.
We can just do it on the counter.
And also to throw chanclas on my head. So now we're gonna sit this back in the bowl, and then we're gonna cover it with plastic wrap and let it sit. So now, 30 minutes.
Bien finito, ¿verdad?
You could always use the slap chop to cut this up. So the next part we're doing is essentially preparing the filling for the empanada. So this is ground beef, right? Ground beef. And then we've got some mustard, but not just any mustard. What kind of mustard is this?
No, that's a chicken
I take
base.
that back.
That's chicken
base.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
So that was a lie.
Taste it if you want. Guaranteed it tastes like mustard.
Got your mixed vegetables and then peppers. So Gary's gonna chop up the vegetables for us, and I will get the pan ready.
Do you want the slap chop for these? That way they're even for you?
Little squares.
We'll do it for you.
My favorite thing ever.
Is that the little one? Yep. Yes. I don't know how many cloves she needs.
So Gary learned how to cook a lot from my mom as well. A lot of the recipes my mom has taught. She makes shakshuka, she'll make empanadas, milanesas. There's pretty much like no recipe that she hasn't touched and tried to make her own. So it's pretty exciting being able to learn how she makes her empanadas because she hasn't shared this with anybody. And I'm very excited. And it's also very delicious.
I think we've done it once or twice, but I don't know if we were paying attention.
We were not paying attention.
Can you get me a silver bowl from under there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. So just one green, one red. Whole onion? Half. And this is for 1 pound of ground beef, right?
This is an audio masterpiece.
Oh, yeah. Is it right in your ears? Even sizes.
Yes.
On the chop.
Which is
Versus a
why
rough
I
chop like what we
love
normally
the
do.
slap chop. It's perfectly square every time.
Consistent.
And for stuff like this, I feel like it's also nice to be able to get everything perfectly square. So when you're making the empanadas, every little bite has a little bit of something, you know? It's delicious.
And how many cloves of garlic do you want in here?
2, but that goes after, right? So the garlic goes after you saute these because you don't want the garlic to burn. So we're gonna add
Give that
this. You want it to become translucent and aromatic.
How many times have we done this at Christmas so far?
Well, we usually do tamales.
Oh, that's true. That's tamales.
And
It's a
we're
different
usually too tipsy to understand what's going on. Because Mom's already made everything and she sets it up in a line for us to do. And we're like, just tell us where to go. And then we just show up and put it together. Okay, now we're adding what, the bouillon? Okay, what is this exactly? Is it chicken bouillon paste? You want to make sure this doesn't burn. Making sure it's perfectly translucent, but not overcooked. So now she's adding the mixed vegetables. You can get mixed vegetables like this in the frozen section. So this is just peas, green beans, carrots, corn, and you're gonna put that all in there so it cooks nicely. How much ketchup is this?
That's actually,
Is that half a cup?
that one's half a cup.
Half a cup of ketchup. Not necessarily. You could do like a quarter. Basically, you just want to add a hint of sweetness. So that beef doesn't have a lot of fat in it, so it'll kind of marry itself really well with the rest of it. Okay, so you add the beef little by little to the pan.
And about how many empanadas will a pound make? A pound of beef?
Yeah, how much will this yield? So 35 empanadas from this.
That's impressive for 1 pound of beef.
So now we're gonna put a lid on this so that it kind of starts softening it up. Once this is done cooking, you also have to let it cool fully, because if you put this in the dough, it will not go well. Trust me, I know this.
Se rompen las empanadas.
It will start breaking apart. So we don't want that. So once this is fully cooked, we'll have to let it cool for a little while. This is just so that it cools off in the essence of time, so it gets cool enough for. Nope.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
All right, so actually the first thing we're gonna do here, so this is gonna be a red chimichurri. Again, it's not a traditional Argentinian chimichurri. That's very rustic, mostly just parsley, shallots, garlic, a little bit of red chili flake, and some red wine vinegar, I believe, and some olive oil. This is gonna be a red chimichurri, inspired by, right? But we kind of put our own twist on it. We do add cilantro because we do love cilantro in this house. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get this started. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is get these bell peppers pretty much black all the way around. So we're gonna go ahead and fire up the burner over here on the stove, or you can stick it in the oven on broil for a little while, and it'll also get it charred on the outside. If you do it in the oven, sometimes I feel like it heats it up too quick on broil. So make sure you don't have that one already. All right. 3 out of 4 of these are pretty good. That's about how you want them to look. Yeah, just nice and charred, black as possible. And we are gonna scrape some of that off. I got one more here. I'm gonna let him go for a second, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this with foil or saran wrap or whatever you have, and we're gonna let it steam for at least 10 minutes or so. So that way, once it's steamed, we should be able to peel all of that, that char off of there. But there'll be some little bits left behind, which gives you that flavor that we're looking for. Of course, we picked 2 things that need a little bit of wait time. Okay, so now let's go and start chopping up some cilantro. And we are gonna go stems and all, because one of the masters at chimichurri is the guy behind the camera, actually. He said it's fine, so we're gonna go with that. I'm gonna try to get this as fine as we can and just chop all day, rock it. Whew, here comes the waterworks. Oh,
Oh no, he's crying.
yeah, a little bit. That is legit.
What traumas have you experienced?
Oh God.
Just let it all out.
I know. All right, back at it.
They say if you chew gum, it helps.
I will just about try anything next time. They also say too, if you actually run the faucet nearby, supposedly that helps.
Do you enjoy making chimichurri?
Yes. I love the way it tastes, especially on a good big piece of steak or ribs or beef ribs.
Or empanadas?
Or empanadas in this case. It just takes a while.
4 hours later.
It has taken, for large batches, it has taken me 3 hours to help mince. If you add a little bit of coarse salt as you're mincing, the coarse texture helps it grind up a little bit more. Now we'll hit up our garlic cloves, and depending on how much you love or don't love garlic, you can kind of put in as many as you would like. So for these, this is always the fun part. These are pretty black. I don't know if you can see what we're looking at, but basically they've steamed at this point, which will make the skin a whole lot easier to peel off. Just try to follow that stem all the way around. Just don't get too close, because then you will knock off a few seeds. I will also char some red chili peppers. However, when I went to my grocery store this morning, they didn't have any, so we're just gonna use red chili flakes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these into strips, about a 1/2 inch, give or take, maybe 1/4 inch. And I don't really mince this one. This is more of a rough dice, if you will. now what we want to do is add our red wine vinegar and our olive oil. We're going to start with at least a cup of the red wine vinegar. Of course, quite a bit of olive oil here. We'll kind of go by taste once we get it all incorporated. Let's see where this gets us. Half a cup of olive oil to start, but we'll probably end up around a 1-to-1. Get all that mixed in. Jessica, would you like to try? We could add some lemon if we want, or not. More salt? More salt? Okay. Thought maybe. Very good. Once those flavors come together, it'll get better with time. So we're gonna stick this in the fridge for now.
All right. In the essence of time, we have let the meat cool off. We put it in a sheet pan, lined it up, and pulled it off.
Un consejo.
And
Para preparar la carne es preferiblemente que se haga un día antes,
so
para que esté
it
bien
is preferred
fría.
that you make the meat the day before and let it fully cool in the fridge overnight. So that way you're not having to rush to have
No,
it
en
cool
ese caso,
later.
las empanadas, cuando haces las tapas y las vas a rellenar, no se te van a quebrar las tapas. Cuando
And
la
same
carne está
thing
bien fría.
with the masa, that way these are not going to break up. So each one of these balls, we've already pre-measured each one of them. They're each 48 grams. So what we do is we use the tortilla maker to make like a perfect round circle. And she cut up Ziploc bags so that we get like they don't stick. And then she's going to fill it about 1 or 2 spoonfuls inside of each empanada. And then she's going to fill it about 1 or 2 spoonfuls inside of each empanada. And this
Ahora,
is where I am not very good at this, but she will fold it. Sometimes you use water, right, for the edges.
en este caso no necesita porque está muy...
Yeah, because it's sticky now, you don't need
Moist.
water. So she's able to just kind of seal it with just her fingers. And what she'll do is she'll fold the
Okay.
edges over.
La pellizcas, la volteas. La pellizcas, la
Pinch and
volteas.
fold. Pinch and fold over and over till you get to the very end of the empanada.
Si es muy difícil para ti hacer esto, lo puedes hacer con un tenedor.
And if it's too hard, you can always use a fork. Kind of like you would see turnovers, you can use a fork to seal the edges.
Aquí no tiene que quedar perfecto. Aquí lo más importante es la preparación de la carne y la masa de la empanada.
Yeah. So here the most important 2 things are the preparation of this and also the beef. Again, you want to keep this sealed because once you stick this in the fryer, all bets are off.
Y después de que terminamos de hacer las empanadas, las vamos a pincelar con huevo.
And so once these are all done, we're going to cover them with an egg wash. So they're perfectly golden once we fry them.
Bueno, no importa. Okay. Ahora las va a pincelar.
So just one side or both?
No, only one side.
Just one side, see?
De mezclar bien el huevo.
Yeah, make sure that this egg is like well incorporated. So you're not getting some chunky bits in there.
This is really good for
So we got some avocado oil here in the oil. We just did 355 for 7 minutes. We got 3 of them in there right now. We'll see if we can do maybe 4 or 5 at a time here shortly. Or so, because really all we're trying to do here is get the dough cooked up, get it crispy, and that's about it. Because everything else is inside. I'm sorry, everything else inside is already cooked, so we're not really trying to cook the insides.
All right, for today's Girly Pop Hour, we are going to have a honey margarita. And essentially this pairs very well with the chimichurri and it's super, super delicious. So to make this, you will have 2 ounces, and you're gonna put in a shaker, 2 ounces of Blanco tequila. I'm gonna put it right in here. 2 ounces. Then we're gonna do 3/4 lime juice, but we're gonna also do 1/2 ounce of the orange liqueur. We love this, it gives it good flavor. So 1/2 ounce of this. We'll go right to the lime after. Right. And then we're gonna make a honey syrup. Essentially all you need is 1 tablespoon of warm water and then a tablespoon of honey. So you're gonna mix these together and put it in the drink as well, along with the lime juice. We're gonna get a tablespoon of this, mix it, kind of have it dissolve a little bit, I'll probably add the lime juice to this so that it sort of breaks apart a little bit. And this is super refreshing now that summer's practically here. And you also want to cut one of these wedges of lime so that you have a little bit of garnish for your drink. I'm just gonna... That doesn't work. So much better. There's lime juice. Hopefully it doesn't fall. There we go. Just a little bit. I'm gonna add this in here just so it breaks it up a little bit better. So all of this is gonna go into the cup. Now, the scary part, I'm gonna shake it. Okay, we got it. That would have been lovely. And there you have your honey margarita. All right, so here we have our empanadas. We fried them at what temperature?
365.
365 for how many minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We've got our chimichurri, our margarita, and Gary has a special wine that he wants to share today. Give us the bibliography on the wine.
I don't have a bibliography,
Okay.
but this is actually one of my favorite Malbecs. So Malbec is something that we drink quite a bit here. This is actually one of my favorite wineries, though. It's an Argentinian Malbec from Mendoza called Marcelo Pelleriti, and it's a good all-around Malbec. So let me go ahead and get this poured, and if you guys want to start, you guys can.
All right, empanada para ti, empanada para mí.
If you want to know where to get the wine, we got a case of this at Costco not too long ago.
If you want to take a look inside, it's nice and hot. Let's see. So what we like to do is we bust them open. You can get a little chimichurri here. Put it inside here. Perfect bite. That's very important. All right, perfect
Cheers.
bite. Cheers.
Delicioso.
Chimichurri worked out too.
Just straight all over my
Tienen que probarlas, ¿eh?
That's pretty good.
Must try. We need a napkin.
You can try it.
Bueno. Saludos. Enjoy.
Salud.
You can try it.
Salud.
Good.
In the eyes.